What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of This Hits Different, hosted by yours truly, Riley Nelson. What's up, guys? It's freaking Halloween time. If you can't tell, I am 100% in the mood. You can see I got my Halloween decorations. I have more all around my room, but I'm not going to give you a little room tour right now. Maybe I'll throw in the video that I took, but like I'm obsessed. Halloween is literally my favorite time of year. I love being scared. I love scary movies. I love ghosts. I love ghost stories. I love the paranormal. I am just obsessed with it. And that's a little fun fact about me that I feel like a lot of people don't know. So I hope that you enjoyed that little tidbit. But it is Halloween time. It's finally starting to feel like fall in Nashville. I'm wearing a sweater and I'm not dying, which is a really big plus. The weather has been so beautiful. It's been sunny. It's just been like ideal. The fall is falling this season. Okay, that was really chuggy. I'm sorry. Okay. So what's going on in my life? So a few weekends ago, my mom was in town and my sister's best friend and her mom, and we went out and we were just partying and we were drinking and we just had so much fun. And of course I took them to Barstool. If you can imagine moms in the club, that's what it looked like. And Stephanie had the time of her damn life. And it was so funny because all the bouncers, like when I was like introducing everyone, like I don't know, like it was so funny. I felt like such a VIP, but like walking into Barstool, we literally like walked past. I have a group of like 7 people with me. We walk right past the line. We walk up to the front. I say hi to my guy Chaz. I give him a hug and he's like, "How many you got?" I'm like, 7. He's like, "Great. Step over here." And then everyone give their IDs and all the things. So everyone does. And then we walk in and then my guy Vinny is standing at VIP. And so then I like walk right up to that and I walk everyone right into VIP. I'm like introducing everyone to all the bouncers. And it was just so funny. All the moms were like, "Oh my God, that was like VIP treatment. Like you're like famous here." And it was just really funny because I was like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So, yeah, I'm in my feral girl era still. But like, honestly, you know what? No, that's a lie because I've been a little bit tamed because my girly girl, Kala, who I love and who is a vet of the show, she has been out of town and she's my party girlfriend. And so her and I like to live, laugh, love on the streets of Nashville. And she's been out of town and I need my party friend back because I've been staying in. And as fun as that is, I'm like ready to rage. You know what I mean? So Halloween's this weekend and I hope everyone is dressing super cute, super slutty, you know, do all the things, bring your titties out, bring your ass out. It's Halloween. It's the one time a year a girl gets to dress like a total slut and no one gets to say anything about it. Mean Girls. Okay. That was also chuggy. Guys, I'm sorry. So anyways, back to the moms in town. So we're like partying and dancing at this club and Vinny, the one that's at the bounce, like he like stands at VIP, he like walks up to me and he's like, "Is that one your mom?" And I said, "Yes, how did you know?" And he said, "Because she is exactly like you. My mom is like everyone else is in line and my mom's just sitting there dancing, like having a good time." And he's like, "Honestly, like I get it now." He's like, "It makes so much sense why you are the way that you are." And I was like, okay, love that. Love Stephanie. She's a queen. She's so fun. And it just was really funny. All the bouncers were like immediately knew that that was my mom. And my mom is literally the most fun person. She's so cray-cray. She's charismatic. She loves to have a good time. She loves to dance. And she's just like me. She loves to dance when she's sober too. So when there's like some alcohol involved, like she's crazy. She's fun. And so I love going out with my mom. And obviously my sister's there and my sister's best friend. And it was just so much fun to have like family in town. But like I'm really, really feeling the heartache of being far from home lately. I've always said I would never move back to Houston, but like I'm sad because my family's together all the time. They're all going to do things together. They just went to the what's that like fast car race? F1? I think that's what it is. Please don't come for me. But yeah, they all just went to this race and like, I'm just struggling because it's like, it's hard being so far from family and watching them all be together and do things together. And I don't know, it's just hard. And I'm the only one that's not there. And they're going to my grandma's birthday party tonight. I think it's her 70th. And so it's like a big one. And like, I'm just sad that I can't be there. And like, it just sucks. And like, I'm really starting to feel that like, heartache for home. And like everyone's obviously my family's really close, but like my sisters and my cousins, they build like memories together and they build like more what's the word for it? They build like more inside jokes and like I don't get to be a part of that. And it freaking sucks. And I really miss it. And I miss them. And if you're watching, I love you guys. But I'm just really starting to like feel that distance. I'm like starting to get a little homesick, quite frankly. And so hopefully, I mean, I'm going home for Thanksgiving, which at this point is like a few days, not a few days. Oh my God, like a few weeks, like a month maybe away. Oh, yeah, it's about a month. Yeah. So it's a month away, which is like 4 weeks. And like, I know I can push through it, but I'm just like, I'm ready to be with family. I'm ready to have some family time. I love my family and I get along with them so well. And like, you know, my grandpa passed and like my grandma had a fall and like, it's just a lot. And it sucks not getting to be there and having to like hear these things over the phone, you know? So this is the first time in a while that I'm like really starting to feel homesick and like I'm not debating to move home. I don't think I could move back to Houston, but like I don't know. I'm just like it's hard. It's hard being far from family. So that's like what I'm going through right now. I feel like I'm in another season of change, which is great. And I feel like it's amazing. And I know that it's going to be good for me on the end. But like this period of like transformative change is hard. And like change is just hard in general. And I'm struggling with it. And I'm struggling with the fact that, you know, my relationships are changing and my friendships are changing. And like, I just feel like not my career's changing, but like, I don't know. There's just so much. I just feel like there's a lot of change right now. And I'm really struggling with that. You know, obviously like things have to change and evolve, but I don't know. I just feel like my life's been so like steady for a little bit, but like now this change is coming and I can feel that I'm changing and I'm growing and I love that. And I'm so excited to see the person that I become after this. But like, I don't know, something about the fall is like so transformative for me every year. I have really, really big things that happen every fall season. And it's like massive change and growth in me, which is great because I love who I come out to be. But it's hard because going through it sucks. And so I don't know. I think I'm just like in another transformative season of my life. And so I'm just trying to embrace it. But it's hard because I don't do well with change, honestly. I like things to stay the same. I like to be content. I like to be happy, you know, just all the tea. So anyways, there's my rant about that. I love my family. I miss you guys so much if you're watching. And, you know, this is just the first time in a while that I've been like, I just really want to go home for a bit, but I can't. Because I have responsibilities here and I have to be here. And like, I fully do believe that like, as of right now, I mean, who knows? I've been praying about this a lot, but like Nashville is where I need to be. And until God tells me that I need to be somewhere else, I'm going to stay here. But like, it's just hard focusing on the future right now. Like I am paving the way for my future self and I'm paving the way for like me to be financially free, me to be sustainable and like me to be able to tour. Like I know that the work I'm doing here right now is really important, but it's hard. It's hard being far. And so I don't know, but it's all gonna pay out in the end because in the end, I'm gonna be doing exactly what I love. I'm gonna be able to travel. I'm gonna be able to do all the things. So yeah, that's my life. I haven't been going out as much, which is great. Oh my God, I'm in my healthy girl era. So I'm on Ozempic and I don't care. I don't care what anybody has to say about it because I, for the first time in my life, feel like I have a healthy relationship with food. And this is why. I did not realize how much I thought about food until I got on this medication and like I no longer think about it all day. Like it doesn't consume my brain. I remember like going to restaurants and like when the apps come out, I'm like, oh my God, I have to race. I have to get it before everyone takes it. And like having that scarcity mindset when it comes to food is so unhealthy. And now like I get small things and I'm like, okay, I'm good. And like the thing with Ozempic too is like you have to be like really you really have to change your lifestyle. Like you can't just like keep doing what you were doing and like take this medication, which technically I'm not on Ozempic. It's on semaglutide, which is like same thing. It's just like that's the medicine. Ozempic is a brand. So you know, it's good enough now to where like I'm not taking it from people who really need it. I'm getting it like what's the word? I'm getting it. Okay, regardless, I don't know. So anyways, I do the shot once a week and I'm actually like loving it because I for the first time ever, feel like I have a healthy relationship with food. And don't get me wrong, I have gotten sick on it. I have. But you know what? That's my fault because I keep drinking on it. And y'all, you have to, I cannot drink on Ozempic. Like, I will throw up for days. It's so frustrating. And then you have to change the way you eat too. Like, you can't be eating like unhealthy, greasy foods. Like, I'm eating protein constantly. All I eat right now is like protein, vegetables, and fruit. And then, I had a burger today. I had like a kid's burger, but like, I couldn't even eat all of it. Like, it literally changes everything. And then also, like, you have to work out on top of it because otherwise you'll lose all your muscle mass. And I don't want to lose my muscle mass. I want to keep my fat ass. Okay. Thank you. So I'm on it. I love it. I've been going to the gym I've been going 2 to 4 times a week. This week I did 2 because I am overwhelmed. I'm so busy and I'm honestly getting a little burnt out. So I like try to give myself a little bit of grace this week. But I went twice this week. Anyways, that doesn't matter. And I've been going like 3 to 4 times usually a week. I like to go after work because I'm not a morning girly. I wish I was, but I'm just not. But yeah, so I've been working out a ton. I've been taking my semaglutide. I'm losing weight. I think I'm down like 18 pounds. And I've lost 2 inches on my waist. So that's really exciting. But yeah, I'm in my healthy wellness girl era, but like also like kind of party. Like I don't know. I feel like I just have a good balance right now. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the episode with Savannah Burrows today. Savannah is a freaking queen, and we were at Belmont University together. We had a few classes together, and she's just so kind. She's so welcoming. And I really enjoyed this episode. She has a lot of exciting things coming out, as we mentioned in the episode. And I just want to thank her for her vulnerability and coming on and being so open and sharing her story and, talking about her songs and like talking about the stories behind them and just getting deep because life is hard. And we talk a lot about PR and branding. And so if that's something that you're interested in, if you're a younger listener, which I hope you're not under the age of 18 because this podcast does have adult content. But if you are and you're like 18 years old or up, because this isn't for kids, I hope that this really helps you because we talk a lot about branding. We talk about PR. We talk about how to be a brand and how to become a brand. And so I really just hope that this helps you. And like I said, there's a lot of fun things coming from Savannah Burrows lately. And she's been putting out some music and she is not stopping anytime soon. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the interview with Savannah Burrows. It is the moment that you have all been waiting for. I am joined here today with the one, the only Savannah Burrows.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome. Presenter mode on. You weren't even prepared for that.
I know something was coming. I was wondering what the intro would be.
Welcome to This Hits Different.
Thank you for having me.
So
we had
excited.
A class together.
We did. Way back in the day at Belmont.
Christy Williams.
Yeah.
Haley's mama.
Do you know that? Oh my God, this is such a trigger. She is the reason. Okay, she is the reason that I almost didn't graduate Belmont. And here's why.
Heard.
She miscounted my absences and was like, you have far too many. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was here on those days. Like, I was like present those days. There was like a few days where I was late, and I think that's why I wasn't like checked in.
Yeah.
Essentially. Yeah. But she was like, we're gonna have to get the dean involved.
Whoa.
Like, I can't let you graduate. You're failing my class. And I was like, what? I was here.
It's not that deep.
And I sent her
I love her class, but I think that you were not the only person that's talked about that amongst many Belmont professors.
Wait, really?
Amongst many. Like, I not even specifying like who. I've had experiences with emails being sent to me being concerned for my graduation status. Like,
from who?
Oh, just so many.
Really? Was it because of absences?
Women and men. Because of absences and because of mainly because of that. Some missing assignments, but like, I'm turning them in.
Well, what made me mad? Not mad, but like, we were like, my mom was like about to go full Karen on Belmont University. I'm not gonna lie. I love you, Steph. I look at this now and I'm like, how the fuck did I do this?
Yeah.
At that time, that semester, I was working practically full time. I was working about like 30 hours a week at a different medical spa. I was doing class as a full-time student. I was doing the podcast. I was doing
you were trying to start it up.
I was. Well, so that was the semester. That was an interesting semester for the podcasting of Riley Nelson.
I think the like aura of Belmont promoting that musicians and creative people have the time to pursue that outside of class is good. And I think that they like do promote that, but it's not always executed within the professors. I think higher up, like even some deans, like I remember like Dean of the Curb College, and then in some other instances, like me having a meeting or another student having a meeting and like talking about absences, like it usually ends up to be fine on a higher level, funny enough. Because they either were in the industry or live it and understand that like we care.
Well, it's
but the
interesting.
gen ed and all that is like, we're not going to give you 100% of our energy.
Yeah.
Because our careers are why we're here.
Exactly.
Artistically.
But Belmont is like, oh my God, we want the creatives going to play. Like, we want y'all going to Rights. We want y'all going on tour. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
They don't want you going on
they
tour.
Say that. They say that.
They say that. But then whenever you're like trying to get an excuse or like trying to like, you know, use X amount. And also, y'all, if you don't know, Belmont is so strict about absences. They will fail you if you don't show up to class, which is so annoying because it's like
failure for NA, non-attendance.
Non-attendance. Like, it's so annoying because it's like we're grown-ups. Like, let us come and go as we please.
Did you ever have a professor, though, that just got it? Like, in your major? Like, within, like, specific classes that you cared about?
I had a podcast class, and there was, like, multiple times I had to miss, and my teacher was like, no, you need to go do that. Like, that's more important than my class. Like, you're actually getting firsthand experience.
Right. In the songwriting department, I feel like the professors, I know that they are once a week classes.
Yeah.
But they are like Chris Dubois, like Seagal. Like he was very supportive of our other opportunities because he was like, I'd like to see you shine.
Yes.
And as long as when you're in the classroom, you are focused. So I like really like appreciate those moments, and those were life-changing, but quite literally everybody else made me very upset.
Yes,
in that
it was like so frustrating. Were you a songwriting major?
Yeah.
Okay.
Music business minor. I still feel like I'm there because it's only been like 6 months.
You know, it's weird. How's life post-graduation?
You know, it's been a roller coaster. I really couldn't wait to go, not because I have any resentment towards college, but like I did resent a lot of like the gen ed being thrown at me at the very end, and how it did like senior year, becoming 21, being able to play shows that I never could, but that lining up with trying to finish college was really tough.
Yes.
So,
and then also, God forbid, Belmont finds out that you're at a bar.
God forbid.
Even though you're 21.
No,
it doesn't fucking make sense.
But we have to play. I mean, those are the places you have to play.
Exactly.
Like Whiskey Jam, like some of the most notable places.
Yes.
You can't get in there unless you're of age.
Exactly.
And I felt like Belmont, my time there, not being there, but my time there was a waiting game to turn 21 and actually be able to be on par with other Nashville musicians. Because there's the Belmont bubble of creatives.
Yes.
And you reach this point and you're like, okay, I can really only get so far. And then when I'm of age, I can go mingle at Live Oak. But I literally can't beforehand.
Yes.
But you can within the Belmont community.
They should have like a Belmont pass for
like how else are we
stuff.
supposed to meet people without a fake ID, which you don't want to, and you don't want to get caught for that, and you don't want to practice that.
Because I mean, I had a fake ID. I told everybody that went to Belmont or anyone that went to college, I was like, don't you dare go to college without a fake ID because you will be the friend that gets left back, especially in Nashville. You can't do anything. At least
I do. I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm from Texas, and like in Texas, you can go somewhere like as an 18-year-old. Like you can go to the bar, you just can't drink.
Right.
And they put X's,
I guess
and it's
that's
like a whole
good.
thing.
I guess that's better than this.
But yeah, where are you from?
I'm from California, so LA is the same. You can't do anything.
So how did you get into country music?
So
from California,
and everyone asks that. No, for sure. I mean, my mom grew up in Wisconsin.
Okay,
and my dad grew up in Long Beach, California, but his dad's from San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, love.
So my mom actually had me at 45.
Oh, wow.
So they're
older.
They are like 67.
Yeah.
And, you know, the generation of the music that they listened
wanted.
to was like really like classic country because of their roots, not necessarily because of like my mom moved to LA to like be a singer and like do modeling and all that. And
Wait,
then my
is
dad
your mom
always
an artist too?
Oh, well, she not anymore, but she used to sing like Christian music and tour, and she was like a Disney like dancer and like at Disney World and everything.
My God.
So it all stems from that, but honestly, the country influence just comes from when I listened to in the car. Like when I was little, like Leanne Rimes like put me to sleep. So
I feel like that's like kind of how a lot of artists get their genre or like their inspiration is like what they grew up listening
Mama
to.
and Dada.
Like my dad always played rock,
right?
And like Honestly, my dad listened to divorced dad rock, but like he's not divorced. He's very happily married. But like,
Oh, that's funny.
you know, I just grew up listening to like rock music. And so that was always like my inspiration. I was like a pop rock artist.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have a pretty raspy voice. Also, my vocal cords are just fucked right now. But when I was like singing and when I was like pursuing that, I would always sing pop rock, and I didn't know why. And then later on, I realized that. And then like you talk to other people, and it's like, oh, I listened to country growing up. They sing country now. I listen to R&B now. I sing R&B.
This
like,
whole journey of coming to Nashville has been so odd because I've always felt like I haven't really belonged. Being here and telling people you're from LA is either like a, oh, cool, or like a, oh, we have assumptions about you.
mm-hmm.
Being in LA,
usually people in LA too like really shit on country.
100%. So singing that in my high school, you know, performances, they were like, what is she doing? Like, who does she think she is? And we don't like this at all, and this isn't popular. But I was passionate about that because I felt like my voice fit that. And even though I'm not a country girl, I felt like the legends, you know, inspired me to like storytell like they did. And that's why I love country music, is because the storytelling is just a different level.
Yeah.
And the authenticity.
That is the one thing with country music that I love, is like when it's like really like good country music, it's like great storytelling. Don't get me wrong, there are a little like too many cliches sometimes.
Beer, bass,
tailgate, country, dirt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Titties.
And that's the thing, is like, and I didn't grow up on that, and I'll never really fully be able to sing about stuff like that. I mean, I know I wrote a song about alcohol, but like cocktails and like that's my California Kenny Chesney by the beach. Like that's the country music I grew up with.
And that's what it sounds like. It does sound like by the beach music. I was like listening to it on the way here, and I was just like, like
Sheryl Crow, Kenny Chesney, like even Kobe Calais. I know she's country now actually, but she wasn't always.
She was not. Yeah.
But that's how I got into it.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
So,
always has a pop influence though, because of where I'm from.
Yeah. I can definitely hear that. Like you definitely have that like twang. Like sometimes I almost was like getting like Reba. Like,
oh yeah, I listened to her a lot growing up
kind
too.
of like the pronunciation, like the way that you choose artistically to like do things or say certain words in the song, I like kind of was picking up on that.
Honestly, like she taught me that kind of phrasing, and like Carrie Underwood too. Just because I was like, oh, like this is like the optimal, like me like learning, like because I was like, am I supposed? How do I not like project a country accent, because I don't want to be like fake.
Absolutely.
But like,
you're like, I don't have.
But it's important. But it's important. I feel like to inherit that a little bit.
Yes.
And predict that a little bit too.
Absolutely. How did you get into music and decide like this is what I want to do?
So I grew up going to, my whole life before high school, I was at a private Christian school. Funny little thing. So life altering to get out of that, go to public school. But in that, I did some, you know, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do and like what my interests were. I think, you know, my mom threw me in dance when I was like 4. But going to this little private Christian school, it was like, what are the creative outlets here? What can we do? And there was drama, there was theater.
That's so interesting. Like with California, I feel like all the parents would be putting their kids in things like that.
Totally. But like
not at this school.
But it wasn't like secular music, you know what I mean? So it was always like religiously informed. And that's fine. And, you know, my mom, you know, performed in the church and sang in the church for a while.
Okay, that makes sense.
So like I became like a worship leader and like did all that. And like I have a little bit of trauma from that. But also like I had great experiences in my church too.
Yeah.
It's just like being around like a lot of guys and like being the woman that's like being the person that's kind of managing or like putting my heart out there or deciding this is what I want to do, like amongst other boys like in the church. It wasn't always received well. But that's a whole nother thing. But
I'm so
like that's what I was trying to do, is like, well, mama sang to me growing up. I feel like I have an accent right now. I don't even mean to. But she just kind of put me in those positions because she always told me, you're such a great performer. Like you love to laugh. You love to. And I was like, you're right. Like I'm going to really lean into that. And then it wasn't until I saw Taylor Swift when I was like 8 years old at like Staples Center with my dad. He like surprised me, took me to the Fearless tour.
Oh, that's a good one.
I saw her and I was like, okay, I like playing piano. I'm already taking lessons. I like singing and I like dancing. Well, how do I throw it all together? And I see Taylor do it all at once, but she's also writing her own songs and like creating the art herself.
Yes.
I was like, oh, that's what I want.
You're like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, my moment like that was Katy Perry.
Really?
I went to the
rock queen.
What was the Teenage Dream tour, and I saw her perform that. I was like way too young to be going to that, honestly, but like life changing. And I just remember watching her and like watching her performance and how theatrical and incredible it was. And I was like, oh my God,
it's
I
more
wanna
than
do
the
this.
music. It's like her entire. It's the experience of who Katy Perry is.
Exactly. And like the branding was just so on point, and like I just was so in awe and like so entranced. And like after that I was like, oh my God, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And then like I still like, even though I'm not singing and performing in like that medium, I still do sing. Like I do it for fun and stuff, and like I want to do a passion project one day. But like when I saw that, and I saw that as like a performance and like performing as an art, I was like, oh my God, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And then the thing I like fell in love with podcasting is it's such a different way of performing. And like people don't, I think a lot of people think that like you just sit down and record and it's like, oh, okay, like I'm just like shooting this shit. But it's like there's
I bet
a rhythm.
you're thinking next, like what am I gonna
like how am I gonna bring up the next topic and how am I gonna segue it? Like there's like a cadence to how podcasting goes, especially with interviews.
and a voice.
Yes, because
Project what you want to say and say it in a way that's like personality beyond the visual.
Yeah.
So that on Spotify, I'm sure they can understand, like hear the personality.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's also funny too, because like I'll be so like I become kind of like a caricature of myself on the podcast. Like obviously I have this really big personality and stuff, but like when the record button gets pressed, like it gets amped up a little bit.
Of course.
Like
and when I go on stage, you have to bring out more than you would so that
yes. And you have to bring the energy. And it's weird going for like say if I'm like recording like an hour-long podcast by myself, bringing the energy and like keeping that level is so hard, especially when I don't have an audience to feed off of. And everything I do is like basically in my room. And I'm like, oh my God, do people even like it? Are people watching?
Sure.
Like you don't have that like, yes, like you don't have that physical aspect, and you don't have that like energy to draw from.
Sure. I mean, I don't know if this is similar, but in the recording studio, obviously you're not
100%.
performing live, so you do have to tone it back in a little bit and be particular. But the performance is important because pitch correction can come later. You don't have to be that like particular about it. But like the amount of times I'm like, oh, this will be played over and over and over and over and over again by me or whoever, and I have to make sure that I'm bringing the most into this moment.
I have a question. I was looking on your on like your latest releases and stuff. So there's a gap from 2020 to 2023.
Yes.
What happened at that time? Why did you pause releasing? Tell me about that.
Thank you for asking, because I like mentioned it one time on Instagram, but it's not something that no one notices. And I'm actually glad, because, it's all about now and beyond.
Yeah.
But, oh my God, between that time, I mean, COVID, of course, was very tough. And being back home, I didn't really have the opportunity to get in the studio and do what I wanted to do. Nor did I have the resources to do it at home, because a lot of people can do that. And they did do that. And they did release. And they threw it on TikTok, whatever. And now I regret, not really pursuing TikTok during that time. And I'm glad that I am now. But honestly, I was in between here and California. So when everyone went back to Belmont that September of 2021, I did not.
Okay.
And I stayed home. Okay. And I wrote, but I didn't have co-writers. I wrote with my dad. We actually write sometimes, and it's really, really fun and really, really sweet. Oh, it's a very special like relationship. But
I wish my family was artistic in that way.
It's really funny because he's not just but like he's a businessman. Like you wouldn't think that bone is in him.
He needs that like creative outlet,
and he has that, and it's pretty, because he just listens to music for hours and hours in his car on the way to the airport or wherever.
Okay, that could make me cry.
No, it's really sweet. And Emily Weisband actually writes with her dad too.
She does. Yeah, I've heard that before.
Like it's not. Some people like actually have that connection. They don't always talk about it, but I mention that because ever since I was 8 and writing country music and being around people that didn't like writing country music, I was like, thank you, Dad, for wanting to. I was like, Dad, I got to get back here. Like I love writing with you, but like I really need to exercise what it's like to really co-write with people that I don't know. And I had never had that experience. I went about, freshman year 2019, I co-wrote with like some peers, but it never turned into anything. So the music was on pause because I was fighting with myself, like, do I want to do another song with my dad? Do I want to maybe write with someone that has a different perspective? I mean, he's, you know, we have a huge age gap. We love writing. We wrote like sweet anthemic songs when I was younger, but I was like, I have more to say, and I want to be around people that have a different perspective, and I need to grow.
Yes.
I just didn't know what to release or what to do, and I was also in between like producers and meeting new people here, but not being here. And I finally got back, and I finally just went in the studio and like recorded like an album's worth of material that like I still have in like a Dropbox.
Love that.
And I'm just slowly going and rolling now.
You're just doing singles?
Singles at a time until probably EP in early 2024.
Okay.
And
Love it.
just going with that.
Are you signed?
No.
Do you want to be?
Maybe. I don't know, because it just depends.
It's
like
so scary nowadays. I feel like signing is like signing your life away.
No, really. And I think a lot of people go the publishing deal route first. Like they really pursue that.
Yes.
So they are protected and they have those relationships like for like the protection of their songs. And like, because that is, the song is the most important part of all of this. But I mean, I think I'd pursue that. I feel like with some of the publishing companies that I've just like interned at or written at, like I feel like I've developed some good relationships, but I could definitely pursue that more. When it comes to label stuff, I just have to feel like I am being loved and cared for, because I know they got other artists on their roster and I don't want to be on the back end. That's a tough question, but also I would totally take the opportunity. It would just be like something I really have a conversation about.
Yes, and definitely like would look over really intently.
Right, because gosh, I mean, not going to name names, but how many up and coming artists get dropped all the time? Of course they don't announce it, but it's like something that we hear within the community.
Yeah.
And you're like, shit, so what? Are they just not worthy? Well, of course they are. They're either really popular on social media or they're making, you know, great waves, but they don't have that financial support.
And it's hard without financial support in these industries. Like, it's just so expensive. And like, we were just talking about this, like living in Nashville in itself is already stupid expensive. It requires a lot of equipment and a lot of really expensive equipment. And then to get as good as like a lot of these producers are, that's years and like a lifetime worth of craftsmanship.
And they deserve a fat check.
And they deserve every piece of it.
But oh my God, is it
it's
a
so
big one?
Fucking hard whenever you're like independent and you're like, how am I supposed to pay this person out of pocket?
No one talks about, but like the clothes that we have to wear on stage from like Posh or wherever we can, the good quality stage clothes that will last. I mean, talk about the expenses of just the get up,
the fashion,
the makeup, like the blowouts, the hair care.
As
silly as it sounds, like we are expected as women to present ourselves in a way. Like think about how some of the, you know, Lainey Wilson, whatever, like she was already beautiful. She is beautiful, but like Kelsey Ballerini, all these people are becoming beautified.
I call it the post-fame glow up.
Sure.
They're having their post-fame glow up.
And they're having a great time. And I don't think they're being
too.
Sure. And I don't know them personally, obviously, but Lainey and Kelsey definitely have that like authentic heart and bone. Like, even though I can tell that they're being amplified and beautified and whatever by their labels and by the people that are managing them, I think internally, because of you can't fake it for long. If they weren't happy, I feel like we'd know.
Yeah.
I think they're happy. I can tell, especially Kelsey with her new boo.
Okay. I don't know. I don't, y'all.
She has a glow about her post divorce.
Oh, 100%.
You know? And with this new music she's able to release. But I know I understand where you're coming from.
Sometimes I'm just like, is this a publicity stunt? Because some of the stuff I'm like, this is so weird. If I were to do half the things that she has done, like with my boyfriend, or I don't have a boyfriend, but like if I did, like people would be like shit talking me behind my back. But because she's famous, it's like, okay.
Sure.
But like, okay, I'm sorry. People are like, oh my God, this video is so cute. But the video of her running off stage, kissing him, and then running back on stage and being like, I kissed someone new. I was like, girl, like that's like, and like doing it in front of a crowd of people, it was just like something about it just feels so staged to me. And I just wonder if it's like a PR thing.
Yeah, I wonder that.
Don't come for me, please. Okay, you know, like in high school, and you know those like couples that would like make out and have like extreme PDA in the halls?
Yeah, it is.
That's what it's giving.
Yeah.
And if it were like a normal person, it'd be so weird.
I'm with you.
But because they're famous, and it's not just her, it's like a lot of other famous couples. Yeah. It's like Pete and Kim, for example. I just had a TikTok that blew up. I got 3.5 million views.
Whoa.
The most random fucking TikTok. But you know why it did so good? Because it was wrong.
Sure.
Did I know that? Yes. Did I even intentionally spell some words wrong? Yes.
Wow. People love to have ownership or like correct you or
They do.
Or be a part of it and give their 2 cents.
And so I think because I know those tricks, or like I know that like publicity stuff. How are we doing
I'm
on
showing
time?
you. No, we're good.
Okay.
I'm pulling this up to show you a TikTok.
Oh my god! Okay, I saw yours of eating the bacon on the steps.
No, it's so stupid. Now we're at 565,000.
Fuck yeah,
half a milli.
And it's just, at least it has your song playing in the background.
Thank God. I mean, of course I look crazy. I'm like eating it like I'm a monster because they want to make fun of you, and people did.
No, yeah, literally, like it's crazy, like the most random things, but like you just got to give some people to latch on to, and like it works.
I think you saying, which TikTok was it? Were you in bed? I forget.
Yes, I was in bed. Oh my God. And like, it's funny, when I did it, I didn't realize that I had like all these things of like why it worked.
Right.
But now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh yeah, no wonder it like fucking worked. Like,
yeah.
So I was laying in bed. This like video came up and it was like talking about how like a dumbbell is like 20 pounds on each side, and they like put it on a scale and it was 40 pounds. So it was like a 20-pound dumbbell. They put it on a scale, it was 40 pounds. And I was like, oh my God. And I didn't even like stop to think about it. I literally just duetted the video and I was like, oh my God, like, is this true? Like, am I stupid? Like,
and that was it.
That was it. That was the entire video. I have my retainer in. When I go, am I stupid? It sounds like, am I stupid? Because I literally have a lisp because I'm wearing my retainer.
What I'm learning about the app is like sometimes that like really well executed, beautifully edited content works. And then sometimes it just absolutely doesn't. And it's just the audience is going to, I mean, you know this, decide if you're the one that they're going to support or not.
Exactly.
And for some reason, and probably because you have a great personality and that you don't need the glitz and the glam to showcase that.
Yeah.
Probably the relatability of what you posted because of just the way you speak and your mannerisms. Mm-hmm. It's probably enough.
Yeah.
And I'm learning too that every time I try to sit down and play my guitar or show a trailer for a music, it's not working.
You have to find something.
I'm realizing
your views are still pretty good though.
Thank you. That one randomly, and then this one randomly too.
They're all pretty high. No, I get stuck.
It's the facial expressions.
I get stuck in 200s. It's so bad.
Yeah,
it's so frustrating.
But look, I mean, just a week before.
But even then, like 6 and 500, I'm like, oh, that's a good video.
It's gonna happen.
I think I need to make like 17 other accounts and see which one goes up, because I've been doing that one. I did make another one. I don't know. Okay. Anyways, we're not here to talk about me.
But this has been like your music. This has been slightly like life altering for my music, not in sense of like the streams being outrageously amazing or anything, but like it is impacting like the way that I see this and the way that I see like what I want to let on about myself as an artist because of what people are identifying with. Like being like working at the restaurant job was something I was hiding because I didn't think it was interesting. And I'm realizing like, no, people want
it's relatable
to know
it's like,
that you're doing the same damn things.
Yes. Okay. So first I want to talk about Rum and Done. Rum and Done, baby. I like this one a lot. Like you said, like Kenny Chesney vibes, like beach.
It's kind of like beach rock. It's like it's like kind of fun, kind of ethereal. Yeah.
Ethereal. That's good.
I'd say so. I mean,
you got a wide vocabulary.
That's really funny. I don't know where it's coming from. I'm drinking later tonight and I haven't yet, so I don't know where it's coming from.
I love it.
Well, it's just to tell you, it's a play on words of one and done, like rum and done, you know. And it's like growing up at the coast, I was never really a beer girly. I love a little pop one open, pop a cold one open now, but like when I got a cocktail in my hand, rum, Blue Chair Bay, Kenny Chesney's brand, like it reminds me of home. And like that brings me back. But the chorus is like, I can be any kind of girl you want. Like I'll go to Broadway and take like a shot of Jack Daniels. Or like, listen to Morgan Wallen and, drink a beer. And like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, like when the sun comes out, like this alcohol is more than just a drink in my hand. Like it's an experience. Yeah. The one that Kenny Chesney makes me feel when I listen to him or see him with his straw hat. It was a fun introduction to like the branding I want to go for, like being a coastal cowgirl, like going down that avenue.
It's my favorite.
Like I haven't seen that like become like a popular thing outside of like the TikTok trends of being a coastal cowgirl. Like I really want to agree. I want to make a sound that fits that.
But like you're exactly right. Like Coastal Cowgirl is like spot on for your brand. I can
Thank you.
100% see that, and like that translates through your music.
Yes. Don't mean to yell. That makes me very happy. Because hey, going back to your question of why I didn't make music for 3 years is because I just didn't know what the brand was.
Yeah.
I know who I am, but that's always changing and ever growing. And
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that I pinpointed the sound.
I love branding. I love like
when you get it right,
an artist's
fun.
vision and like working with the artist, obviously. Like you don't want to like just get the artist and be like, okay, this is what you're doing. But like Coastal Cowgirl is like, I'm already inspired of like, oh my God, how can we make your social media look Coastal Cowgirl? And like, how can we brand you through fashion? And how can we make your cover art translate that as well as your music? Like
Literally.
there's so much that goes into branding and like getting it right. And like, don't get me wrong, a lot of people, even like I still get so mad at male country artists. Male country artists need a rebrand. Their cover art
It's all the same shit.
Their cover art is getting so, it's just cringy.
It doesn't look like it's done by a woman.
No.
That's for sure. And it should be done by a woman.
It should be. Oh my God. Like fucking Carter Faith, her branding, and it's all thanks to her team. Like, one of my friends, Lily, is like on her team, and like there's a team of people that work with her, but like her branding is so nailed and 100%. Specific, but like so cool and aesthetic and artsy, and like
you don't feel like you're watching like someone. You don't feel like you're being bought or something like that.
And then you look at Bailey Zimmerman's cover art, and he's wearing a fucking backpack,
and yet he
has a glitter
1
tear.
million. Really, he has a glitter tear.
There's a glitter tear edited onto his face, and then he's wearing a back. It's horrible. It looks like divorced dad. And I'm like, whoever is working on this, like, we need women in these spaces, because
I think so. I know so.
I'm just tired of like those male country artists and their cover art is like,
yeah.
It's so cringy.
Yeah.
And we just fully went off, and I just fully went off on a tangent.
But that brings it back to the point of like why I care so much and want to hone this in. And I am just experimenting with this. I mean, I just released that song in June, and like I know it's October and time flies, but like, you know, not every song I write is going to be about the beach. So it's like something I've been thinking about and pursuing is like in the wintertime,
I was
as a
just about to
coastal
say,
cowgirl.
Honestly,
it's just the hair. I think, you know, I have these extensions I always pop in, and my hair's naturally curly already, and
it's giving beachy.
Yeah, I want to add braids. I kind of want to. I love what Julia Cole does with her braids, but I want to constantly add cute little fishtails and everything. So in the new year, I'm going to really pursue that as when the spring comes along. And I had my hair like lilac purple for all of COVID. So
that's fun.
You know, there's a lot of blondes in this town, and I am a blonde. And
do something different.
That's authentic to me.
I'm sorry, but if
I think I want to go lilac,
and you're a country singer, you stand out
100%.
Because
100%.
that's not the norm.
No,
do that.
I think so. I think
we're gonna work on this. I really want to help branding. You. I love branding so much
because I feel good about how I carry myself and like my story, but the visuals I want to pursue that. And it's funny because, you know, Man's Best Friend.
Yeah, I was just saying, tell me about Man's Best Friend.
Has nothing to do with this, but like, you know, I made sure to wear like bright colors, yellow, and like, you know, that's still me too.
And even like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the vibe I was getting like from the cover art and like from the shoot and like this song, it was like kind of giving like 60s, like kind of like retro.
Yes.
And I love that because it's like, it still fits somehow into the coastal cowgirl.
Yeah, because it's like the blonde. It's also, gosh, what is that? Clueless, like, you know,
the evolution of coastal cowgirl.
I think so. I think it's also kind of Kelsey Ballerini, which I know she's from Knoxville, but you know, she loves Kenny Chesney, so she like has that influence.
Yes,
of like that pop country stuff. I mean, I'm glad that you think that is tied with that, because I know it's a very different song, but again, just even vocally, like. That's the Reba I'm like getting that. Yeah. I'll never stray too far away from it, but my next song is called Truck Boy, and like I didn't grow up with trucks or anything like that, and that's kind of the vibe of the song. It's like I don't understand this. I don't understand why you are a truck boy. You're kind of a fuck boy, truck boy. Like that's kind of the play on words.
Wait, when's it coming out?
I think I'm trying to get it out by the end of the month. Like I'm about to just like surprise, like
just do it.
Pre-save link.
Yeah,
this. Like,
do it.
I know the music video has only been out for a little bit, so I'll give it one more week and I'll.
The music video for what?
Man's Best Friend.
Man's Best Friend. Okay.
Yeah.
While we're here, talk a little bit about Man's Best Friend.
Yes, this is also like a true story. Like my man's best friend.
Yes.
is quite literally a female dog.
Does she know?
We're not.
Are we still friends with her?
Probably no.
Okay. Is he still friends with her?
Not really.
Okay.
No. I mean, here's the thing. So it's all very cordial. It's definitely an exaggerated song, but like,
oh, I love it though.
You
It's
know,
like fuck off. Like
no, but
stop,
it's real.
Like
it's
brown
real.
nosing.
100%.
Yeah.
I wrote it with Gloria Anderson and Rihanna Marie. You might know Gloria. She went to Belmont as well. I
don't know. I'm really good with faces.
It's a different friend group, but it's still within the
Belmont
realm,
bubble.
The Belmont bubble, as I love to call it. But I had James in the music video, and it was directed by James, my boyfriend. It was directed by my brother Carl, who lives here. It's all the art is in the family.
Yeah, it is.
He directed it. We did it at my home.
I love it.
My crazy, bitchy friend who's not bitchy at all, but played the part.
And she did it.
That's gonna sound my crazy bitchy friend. That's not what I meant. But her name's Alyssa Wilson, and she slayed the part because she knows how to get that out, get that personality out. She was the man's best friend, and it was just this whole. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I haven't seen the music video. I need to.
I might have you watch that because it just brings the life to the story.
Yes. Well, I mean, the song itself, like it's obviously like a play on like, man's best friend is in the dog, but it's like all those like dog references that were really funny. Like, she's like brown nosing, and even though she grew up down the street, and you're like, if you know what I mean, it's like sassy, but it's like, bitch, stay the fuck away from my man. Like, you say you're his best friend, but like you're in love with him, and we all know it.
And it's also an all too like familiar situation.
Yes.
So many of us have had a story where we are talking about a friend or just a girl who knows someone that we're dating, and they're just getting a little too close, a little too fast. And the whole point of the song,
a little too touchy and a little too flirty.
Totally. My favorite line in the song is like, I'm not worried about my lover. I know he doesn't love her. Like, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
And, the greater concept is like, oh, well, shouldn't he be pursuing, getting her away from us and whatever. And like, there's only so much he can do. Like, he made it very clear that he wasn't interested. He makes it very clear that he loves me. He doesn't, go to everything that we're invited to. It's not like he is a people pleaser, but like, he's a cordial, mature man who doesn't want to start drama, and he doesn't need to cause a scene. It's like she's the one causing the scene.
Yes.
Like, it's not his fault. It's not his responsibility. Like, this is between her and me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of what the song's about. And the cadence is just really fun.
It is. You have like some really interesting like chord changes and notes where it's like, it just goes, it's like, and it's like, like,
yeah, it's like a chromatic.
Yes,
minor
it's
chromatic.
So fun. And like, now I'm just like geeking out on like theory and music and stuff. Like, normally that's stuff like people would never notice, but like that is so like out of the blue in that kind of like song and that kind of formatting of the song. And then all of a sudden it's just like da 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 da, and you're like,
sure,
oh my God.
yeah, that surprises you. Totally.
I love it. I love surprise notes.
Thank you for acknowledging that, because I think truly like coming from LA and being like in the sphere of like a different type of like music community, like I have to thank my like previous, and still I call him my musical director. I mean, he helps arrange and does a lot back home. His name's Ryan Fogelsong, and he just like taught me a lot about theory by ear, because I could never really read sheet music. I'm good at reading tabs. I can, write stuff down and understand things to a fault. I can read piano sheet music, but he really like challenged me.
Yeah.
Just because of his own ear, for me to hear him, learn from him, and just encourage me to go outside of the box. Like I have to thank him for that.
Yeah.
And I will never do 4-chord country music.
Yeah.
Because that's just not what I grew up with, like being in like an alternative pop space.
Yes.
So that's always going to be something that's a part of it. And it's nice that you acknowledge that, because,
thank you.
How do you tell someone like, oh yeah, like I'm not basic? Well, aren't we all trying not to be?
No, and I love that. Okay, I'm so sorry. We're running out of time.
No, this is good. Then we got the bones.
I know, we got the meat. What is your biggest piece of advice to someone who is up and coming and new to Nashville?
My biggest advice to those that are going to college here and have that little bit of time before they're like really thrown out into the real world of the city is to enjoy it, but not be afraid to like get out of the dorm.
Yes.
And it can be really scary. And there's just a lot of time that I wish that I used towards making connections. Even though I couldn't always approach people or, go into spaces because of my age and because I was not 21. I still wish that I got outside of my comfort zone and pursued that, so that it could set me up to the point where post-grad, I had a little bit of weight. And, you know, I'm making up for that time right now.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy and I don't regret anything. And I'm really happy that like some of these TikToks are doing well and that I'm like making connections. But I can only imagine what could have been done or what could have been possible if I would have not been so afraid or so hesitant. I'm really glad I was a good observer and that I was a good listener and I just watched things happen at Belmont. But I needed to attack things.
Yeah.
Looking back.
Yeah.
That's my biggest advice.
Okay.
And if people aren't going to Belmont, honestly, I'm so proud of like some of these new friends I've met that have been in town for a year and like come to all these writers rounds and go to all. Oh my God, I don't know if I could have done that. So it's just more of that, more of showing up.
Yeah.
But also like you can't make everything.
Yeah.
And anyone that tells you that you should.
Oh my God. What is the biggest lesson that you've had to learn the hard way?
Oh my gosh. The biggest lesson that I've had to learn the hard way is probably that the time that you have now is the golden time and that you should use that, but also rest so that when the big opportunities come your way, like you are energized and ready, and use the time resting and practicing too, like being linear. Like if you have those days off, have that self-care, but like just like play your guitar and just have some time to yourself and like think about what you're trying to do. Because otherwise you might just not be ready, like to walk in the door. I don't know if some of those opportunities were even like meant to be necessarily, but they definitely could have gone differently if I would have like taken a day off or just like even the simplicity of like cleaning my room to just get in a better headspace going forward. Like sometimes I get so scatterbrained, I can't show up as my best self, let alone as an artist.
Yeah.
With the like amped up version. So that's
absolutely
what I'd say. That's what I'd say.
Savannah Burrows, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you. We got it all in. Like we really went over all the topics that I thought we would in a good way, but also more.
I know. I wish we like I could like keep talking to you for hours. Like conversation's just going so good, but I know you have to go and I'm so sorry that I'm so
sorry that
I'm
sorry I gotta go to a work party.
Where can people find you?
Oh, I'm on all the streaming services that you like: Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Plus, all that. Instagram is Savannah Burrows Official. That is the same handle on TikTok. Please come and join. I do not like Twitter. I'm sorry.
Oh no, Twitter's for
I
boomers.
don't use that anymore. I know that I should. And if you know, if you like Facebook, that's still there. We are clicking the share to Facebook as well button.
There you go.
But it's still applicable.
Yeah. Well, amazing. Savannah Burrows, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
And as always, you know where you can find me at Hosted by Riley Nelson on Instagram and TikTok. You can find the podcast at This Hits Different Podcast. Go on the website, submit your stories, do all the things. Send me an email, say hi, send hate comments, whatever you want. But yeah, alrighty. Bye, guys.